financial literacy, and the human condition. Welcome to Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rayam.
Hi, it's Francis. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for watching this video. If you're catching us on YouTube, please help us help others by clicking like, subscribe, and all notifications so you don't miss any videos. And check back for the next video. I think you're going to love it. Thanks again. For more information, you can visit us at hugyourmoney.com.
Financial literacy and the human condition. Welcome to Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rayam.
Hi, it's Francis. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for watching this video. If you're catching us on YouTube, please help us help others by clicking like, subscribe, and all notifications so you don't miss any videos. And check back for the next video. I think you're going to love it. Thanks again. For more information, you can visit us at hugyourmoney.com.
Welcome to Financial Fitness. I'm Jess Tyler, along with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rayam. Hi.
Hey, Jess, how are you?
I am good, and we have a guest, which I always love when you bring someone on.
We do. We have Jocelyn King with us, backed by popular demand. She's from Smarter Online Safety, and boy, I just loved having her. She's so full of information and the kind of information that we need right now about keeping our accounts safe online and just living a little safer, considering the fact that everybody knows how to click a link these days, including the criminals. So welcome, Jocelyn.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. So, she's been clandestined in the side room with the headphones on while we decided what we're going to ask her about on our little cybersecurity game show here. Truly, she has no idea what these questions will be, but she's a good egg and always will, come on and talk to us about this. So, I would like to get a little background because, it is true that even people who listen to podcasts a lot, may not really understand online safety. People think, well, as long as I don't click the link in my email, I'm okay.
Right.
So can you give us a foundation of maybe some of the top things that people don't understand that they should be aware of in terms of protecting their bank accounts or their personal information online?
Absolutely. The world of hackers and cybercrime is continually evolving, and they're getting smarter about online crime, and that's why we named the company Smarter Online Safety, because we all need to get smarter about our safety. And we're online and offline, but of course we're focusing on the cybersecurity world. And what really happens is most people think, okay, as long as actually, there's a lot of people who still are clicking links in SMS texts that are suspicious and phishing emails. I will say over 80% of attacks come from clicking on links. And it sounds fairly obvious, like, oh, there's a link, I shouldn't click on it. But if you're getting an email or a text from who you think is your boss's boss or your uncle or your child or something, and it has an urgent message in it, I think the foundational thing to know about cyber criminals is they rely on getting you into a fear state. When you get into fight or flight, you lose your ability to think with your prefrontal cortex, which is our higher human brain that helps us make smart decisions. And they can get us out of that in a second by making us feel that our teenager's in trouble, or our mother, who's maybe starting to show early onset, signs of Alzheimer's or something, is saying something's going on and we have to help. And that getting that bias for action that we have to do the right thing is what hackers rely on to manipulate us into taking the wrong action that will benefit them. So just think that it's number one, whether it's a link, a phone call, or anything. If you, first of all, trust your gut. First of all, rarely do I talk to somebody who had zero spidey sense or gut feel that something might be wrong. So if you think that at all, stop, take a beat. The other thing is, we have a saying in cybersecurity called zero trust. Okay, so zero trust means you assume you can't trust anyone and you verify everything. And by doing that, you won't accidentally click on something that is seemingly innocuous, because they are getting better and better. It's more likely you're going to get an email you think is suspicious, almost from a friend than from a hacker, because hackers, really good ones, have gotten so good at imitating your real friends. They've downloaded everything about you on your Facebook account and your friends' accounts, so they're talking to you, and they're using AI tools to mimic the language.
Yeah.
Everybody who's learning about AI, you learn that you can mimic anyone's voice and cadence, and you can mimic their language choices and things. So you can ask an AI to put things in Francis's, how would Francis say this? And then text it to Jess, and it's
Yeah.
going to sound like Francis. And that's the day and age we're living in. Okay. So I think first of all, you have to,
Yeah.
I don't say trust but verify. I say be suspicious and verify.
Yeah, it's gone way beyond. Oh, it's
I was
gone
just
way
going to
beyond
say,
spoofing. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
just go ahead.
it's okay. I just was going to say, I think also in addition to the panic text you get, something has happened, like you've got to bail somebody out or whatever, where you
Right.
click on it. We're also busy in our regular lives, and we're now available 24/7 to bosses and everyone else, which is a problem. So if
Hmm.
you're doing other things, you're getting dinner ready for the kids, you're, finishing up work stuff, and you get an email in, chances are you can click it not because you're not being smart, but because you're busy and
Right.
there's a million things going on.
Right. Right. And the you're exactly right. And what then they rely on the busyness. The other thing is a lot of damage being done to your accounts and stuff is happening while you're not online, while you're working, while you're shopping, while you're at the gym, while you're sleeping, because I've had some people in my classes who, when they learn, you have to learn how vulnerable you are in order to learn how to protect those vulnerabilities. And in that moment where people realize how vulnerable they actually are while we're starting to protect them is when they think, I just want to throw my computer and phone and never get online again. And I say, but that's the worst thing you could do, because even if you never got online again, it's not just you have to worry about. It's the fact that your social security number, your logins, your password, your information, even if you never opened an account and had a password, it's in all these financial institutions, government agencies that are hacked on a daily basis. And then it's your information sold on the dark web. So the most like I tell people, stop trying to protect your social security number. And I don't mean
Me
put it on a
too. Yeah.
billboard or put it on your
Right.
Facebook, home
Right.
screen. But what I mean is stop trying to protect it and focus on, how do I make sure it's not being used against me? And
Yeah.
that's where you want to make sure you are, for instance,
That's
freezing
right.
your credit, turning on two-factor authentication. So let's
Yeah.
say you're at work and you get an alert that something's going on your account. You could have had, somebody social engineer a customer service rep at a company to get, your mobile phone company phone number and login. But from that, they can get information about you that they can then use to hack into your financial accounts or retirement account. And if you suddenly get an alert that one of your financial accounts is being logged into, you're being hacked real time, and you need to, take action. If you didn't turn on your authentication, if you didn't have your credit frozen, these things would be happening while you're going about your business or sleeping or sitting by the pool. And some people find out about it months and even over a year later. And that's when you have irreversible damage.
Yeah, but let's point out, taking action does not mean clicking that link, because you will
Correct.
get things that say your account is being hacked. You need to do this immediately. You're getting a delivery and we can't deliver it. Please give us your address. I mean, there's a million of these things that come through.
Mhm.
So at the very most basic core, what I tell people is, whatever source you think it came from, you don't touch the message. You call the source on the phone, you call your local bank, or you call your local
Mhm.
payment company or whoever is sending that to you and say, I got this, I'm suspicious of it. Is there really something going on with my account?
Correct.
Right?
And by the way, I've talked to people who have done that, but they've inadvertently, because again, they're in a fight or flight in mind, they're calling the phone number that the hacker sent them in the text or email,
Exactly.
saying, please
Yeah.
call us at Bank of X. And then they
Yeah.
give the 800 number number, but that 800 number is a set up call center by the hackers too. And
Yeah.
so you're sort of doing the right thing, but you're getting it from the wrong source. So exactly, completely exit the phone conversation, the email, or the SMS text, and then go to the known good source. So not everybody's going to have, like, if you bank with Bank of America or Chase or whomever, you may not have their phone number already in your phone. So first of all, that's a great thing to do. You got nothing, you're sitting in the doctor or dentist's office.
Make
That's
sure.
a good time.
Yeah.
Add it to your contacts, and
Yep.
then you have the correct one, and then you can call them. But go to the website, and also always go to their actual website and get it. Hackers have also been taking over a lot of sponsored links on Google, so you could get into a hacked site, hasn't been caught yet
Yeah.
and taken down,
Oof,
because
yeah.
you're clicking on that sponsored link at the top of Google,
Yeah.
Google results.
Yep.
Go to the bank, bofa.com or chase,
Right.
.com.
Right.
Go to the right one and then only get the phone number from there.
Yeah. Watch
Do you
those
ever
address
just
bars.
ignore it? Can you ever just ignore it? Like, for example, I keep getting the easy toll one, and everyone's getting them now, where you owe,
Yeah, me
however
too.
much in tolls.
Yeah, then you can also block and report. That does
Exactly.
help in the background, because
Yep.
when all of us are doing that, it focuses law enforcement and the large companies' attention on those as suspicious, and that's how hackers get taken down faster, or their site get
Yeah.
blocked
I hit the
more.
delete and report junk all the time, but I still get them.
Me
So
too.
can I ignore it? Can I just ignore it? Or, oh,
You can. But I would
okay.
recommend, if you're going to ignore it, I would recommend you also delete it so you don't accidentally,
Yeah.
because just like purse dialing, aka butt dialing, and things like that can happen, you never want to accidentally engage. So
Yeah.
I would recommend you just delete it.
Okay.
Either delete or delete and report. I take pictures of them because then I use them in my trainings.
Perfect.
We could add to your collection, I bet.
Exactly. Exactly.
Can
I've had
can
a
we
lot
get
of people
some?
send me things and say, here, can you tell me about this? And then I say, yes, and may I use this? I'm going to use this. And I take out any personal information, obviously, but yeah.
Can we get some contact information for you, Jocelyn, before we go to
Sure.
break?
So anybody who wants to learn more about how to be safer online can come to smarteronlinesafety.com, and we've got newsletters and videos and a lot of free stuff and some classes and workshops that you can learn from and protect yourself.
Yeah, I can't wait for our second half to talk more with you about this sort of thing. And I'm sure Jess has questions too. But um, one of the things that occurs to me is what's going on in the political environment. And when we come back, maybe we can talk a little bit about people's bank accounts and how we might protect things like that.
All right. Let's get your phone number, Francis.
Sure, it's 413-773-3333.
And you can go to hugyourmoney.com. We'll be back with part 2 of Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Ram, on WHMP.
Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor is underwritten by Franklin County Technical School. We build futures. Visit fcts.us or call 413-863-9561.
Welcome back to Financial Fitness. I'm Jess Tyler along with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Ram, and we have a special guest today talking about keeping ourselves safe online.
We do. Welcome back to Jocelyn King from Smarter Online Safety. And, she's just got so much information. I'm sure if she's willing, we'll have her back again. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because people say those things to me. They say, I won't do online banking because I want to be safe. And I'm saying, look, the horses left the corral years ago. We used to have our social security numbers on our driver's licenses.
Yeah.
On the driver's license so that you hand it to everybody. And it's still the same situation. The more information that is out there, the more at risk you are. And you do classes about this that people can sign up for. So can you talk a little bit about, what those classes are like and how easily accessible they are to people so that they could learn? They could learn.
Sure. So I have a master class that just gives the basics in a 2-hour. And in fact, Francis, I'll give you a code so that I'll give you a code that makes it like a $7 class instead of a $97 class for your listeners. And because I'm really wanting people to get safer online. So we'll get to that. But then I also have a half-day workshop called, Safer Now. and you can come in, and that's the hands-on. Because what I recognize is a lot of people, like for instance, everybody knows they should have complex, you know,
Yeah,
passwords and unique
passwords.
passwords for each one. That's great, but then they're like, okay, but how do I do it? Or I keep forgetting it. And most people spend most of their time resetting their password every time they're trying to log in, and then they don't do it. And I understand why. So what I do is I have you actually not just tell you that you should use a password manager, but it's a workshop. You're sitting there, we're getting it set up, we're putting your most important accounts in, you're generating a new password, we're making sure you're using a new email or an email that's kind of pristine that you don't use for all your junk email newsletters and coupons and all that, so that you are getting safer and your information is not vulnerable. So it's literally a hands-on where you walk through that. We talk about freezing your credit. So some people come in with that done. Other people need to know how to do it. Got a little setup for that. We walk through just the 7 things that everybody has to do. So you leave after a half day actually safer and not with a list of things to go do on your own. Because most of us, and I found this too, I mean, I got into cybersecurity because I was targeted by cyber criminals and hacked and lost a ton of money and had my life implode. And when you're in the middle of it or looking at, yeah, I should protect myself. It's like you should write a trust and a will and you should do this and we just keep kicking that can down the road forever. So come in, spend 4 hours, and you get it all done, and you have that sense of relax. I guarantee you, some people write and they say, "Oh my gosh, I had the best night's sleep after that," because those things that are weighing on you are, we've taken care of most of them. And most cybercrime is very formulaic. That's what I do. Part of my trainings is I have what I call taking the hoodie off the hacker, where I just teach you the basics of how cyber criminals and hackers work, because there are special cases where if you're under personal attack, they will go to great efforts, technologically and personally, and invest a lot of time in nuance trying to social engineer you. But the average person isn't going to experience that. The average person is experiencing what's called a brute force attack, which is just thousands of possible combinations of email logins and passwords and stuff until they get lucky, just like in Vegas. And so most people are under the threat of that. So it's very easy to set things up so that you have incredibly low odds of getting attacked under those conditions. But ransomware is a real deal, and Lockbit, it's not the first, it won't be the last. This it's been getting more and more commercialized. And let me just tell your audience, this is the reason why cybercrime's not going away. For $45, you can get malware and a mentor.
Yeah.
And they have internships in cybercrime. And so you're getting a mentor, and a criminal just needs a smart device and an internet connection, and they can make $25,000 a month. For $4.99 a month, you can get the AI tool that emulates somebody's voice. That is where Jess could get a call where it sounds like Francis talking to you, and they're typing in what is it, but actually the AI is even telling us this is Francis would use this word, not that word. A quick story, if you'd like, on how this is happening.
Yeah, because you're creeping me out here.
This is a bit of this is the reality of what you have to be aware of. This is why I say approach with zero trust. And regardless of whether you should be paying attention to this country or not that country or this organization or not that, just you're never going to know what's coming at you. So just be suspicious. Assume a certain percentage of outreach to you on the phone, in text, and emails is going to be hacking. And then you're looking for it. It's a lot easier to start seeing things when you're looking, going, oh, is this one of those that I'm expecting? Than it is to just be caught off guard. So the CFO of Ferrari got a phone call from the CEO of Ferrari, who they work with on a daily basis and have for years, saying, I'm with this company. We want to close this deal. I negotiated down to a great price, but we've got to act now. I need you to wire this money to there. Now, what the CEO was asking the CFO was not a completely uncommon thing. They do deals all the time, except the CFO had never heard of this deal before. And every other time this has happened, they've known about the deal.
Sure.
So the CFO was super smart, and this is where we want to get smarter and do things like this. It said, I'd be happy to. Yesterday I was in your office and you recommended a book to me. What was the title
That's
of that
right.
book?
That's right.
And
Yep.
they hung up because
Yep.
what it was, but if you can imagine, the CFO of Ferrari believed it was the voice of the CEO. That's how good the AI voice tools are. So you can
Yep.
imagine getting a call from your uncle or aunt that you haven't talked to in however many months,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's sounding just like them. So if you know that this could be happening, you get over the surprise part of the attack, so be attacked.
And you're on guard. Yeah, I'd like to take a moment to say that our company doesn't make any outbound sales calls at all. If you call us, we talk to you. But if you ever get a call that sounds like it's from me, I want you to follow the same guideline we just talked about. Hang up, call me back on my real line and tell
Yes.
me, hey, I just got a call from you. Because it's a very simple thing. It's like, don't click the link, right? It's a simple thing, but you have to internalize it and do it over and over and over again. Um, that is really creepy. But what you just said, I do also, and Jess probably does too. You get all these things from Facebook or LinkedIn or other places where they say so and so is trying to connect with you, and hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time. And I do that. I say, if this is I don't mean to be offensive, and I say that I don't mean to be offensive, but I haven't heard from you in years. And if this is really you, you'll be able to tell me how we met, or you'll be able to tell me what our connection is, or whatever. And they never even respond. It's always
Right.
some hacker.
Right.
And
Is this
Right.
a way of the future, or is there a solution for this? Because this just seems like, honestly, for the average person, just a giant pain. Like every call you
it is.
get, you gotta worry that it's going to be AI. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you're not, that's the other thing too, because when I was actually under attack for a long haul cybercrime
Mm-hmm.
thing, I was living I was living on an adrenaline and cortisol drip
Mm-hmm.
for 2 years,
Wow.
and then it destroyed my health. So I don't recommend you be on that kind of alert. I mean, unless you actually are a soldier, you don't want to be living like you're a soldier
Right.
in
Mm-hmm.
war zone. But you just need to be alert. It's kind of like the way we teach our kids about safety if they're walking to, 3 doors down to their friend's house or whatever. You teach them, don't take candy from strangers, don't get in the car. This is what you do if somebody, tries to, you scream and you run or whatever.
Right.
There's all those things we were taught as kids and we teach our kids. Well, there's an online version of that. And in fact, that's the biggest thing that I solve. I think one thing that Smart Online Safety is doing is we help you see your online world like the same
Mm-hmm.
way you see your device. So see your devices as your doors of your online house. You see your accounts and your password as the windows. We all,
Windows. Yeah.
and see your Wi-Fi router as your garage door. This is what we teach in the workshop. So you're literally having this online house model and you're writing down your account, because once you see something, you can protect it. It's the fact that everything's online and in cyberspace and therefore seemingly invisible that
Mm-hmm.
that you can't protect what you can't see. But the hackers, that's where they live, so they can come at you. So they have an unfair advantage until you start seeing your online house and protecting it the same way you lock up your physical house when you leave.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember years ago, one of the people that helped us with security with our website, and so one of the things we do is we don't ask for account numbers or social security numbers. I don't want that stuff in our system, even though everything's encrypted. But I just figured it's safer if we don't need it to not ask for it online, right?
Mhm.
But I remember this time when I got a call from him. Now, he was a government security specialist in Europe, and in a 24-hour period, he saw something like 385 attempts to get to our site from
Oh.
different servers. But he caught it immediately because he had handwritten a
Right.
script to do that, to catch that. We were down for less than 24 hours and back up again, but that had to be 15 years ago. I was always grateful to him for catching that. And
Mhm.
I also thought, well, what could they have gotten? Not very much. We still have that model today where we don't ask for those things.
Mhm.
I wish that more places did that. You know,
Well, the interesting thing about that, and I just did an episode on this on my Smarter Online Safety podcast too, where I had an expert on and we were digging into it. But the point is that the reason people ask why do you need to give your veterinarian your social security number? What does that possibly
yeah,
have to do?
yeah, yeah.
But it goes back to these are really archaic models. I used to build databases back in the day, and the unique identifier for people back in the day was a social security number. So they would
Right.
ask for it so that you had a unique record guaranteed because nobody else would have your social security number. But some of those, it's like, they're still being used, even though most of them have a way to give you a unique customer ID. So what
Yeah.
I've done, and I've been doing this for years, on that form where you fill out, and you're supposed to hand print your
Yeah.
your social security number. And when you're
Yeah.
sitting in a doctor's office or something, I just leave it blank.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
well, I'll wait for them to ask me, and they never ask me for
They
it.
never do.
So
Exactly.
so you're just
Yeah.
giving it away. And here's the other thing: never write anything down. I'll tell you, I was signing up with a new mobile carrier for my cell phone, and over the phone, they're asking me for my social security number, and I can hear
Yeah.
I know they're in a call center
Yeah.
offshore, and I
Yeah.
said, well, no, I don't give that out. And I suddenly got suspicious, and I said, I need to call you back. What is my ticket number? And
Yeah.
I need to call you back. I didn't say why. I didn't say I don't trust you or whatever, but I
Yeah.
thought, oh my God, this might be a voice phishing call.
Right.
So I hung up and I called back into the main line, got through, gave my ticket number, and it was actually this large mobile carrier asking me for my phone number. Now, anybody on an overseas, call center can be sitting there with a pad and pen and writing all these social security numbers down and walking out and make more money selling those later on the dark web than they did in their whole day of work at the mobile carrier. So that's what I don't like about it. I actually sent an email to the head of online security at that company talking about
Yep.
my background in cyber and that they need to change this. And we're actually talking, and I'm actually going to be helping to train some of their employees now because this is prevalent. But don't give out your social security number unless it's a government agency or a financial institution. You have to, and then do it knowing that it's being captured in a secure way
Yeah.
where other eyes can't see it.
Yeah. Always great information from you. Jess, do you have any further questions for Jocelyn?
I mean, I have a million questions, but we're out of time. So
We are.
it's just really interesting, and you just do have to be hyper aware, and it's hard because we're doing so many other things to have to focus on this. But the other option is going through like what you went through, which was 2 years of your life that were ruined because of this. So
And $500,000. Yeah.
yeah, $1 million.
Yes.
Let me get a phone number if people want to give you a call to find out more or to maybe take one of the online classes.
So actually, we're changing we've had some issues with security with phone services that we've been looking at. So I want people to come to smarteronlinesafety.com and engage with us there, and you can sign up for the classes. I'll get later today. I will get you that code, Francis, so you can share that with your listeners. And
That would
I
be great.
just everybody, just stay suspicious, protect yourself, and just just get a little smarter, and everything's going to be okay.
Francis,
So stay
can
safe out there. Yeah.
Can I get your social, Francis, please?
Oh, absolutely. My social security number. Sure. Let's just give that to everybody. It's already out there anyway. Let's see. It's 413-773-3333. Yeah, that's it.
All right, that might be the phone number if you have any questions to get a hold of Francis. She will not give you her social for sure. You can also go to hugyourmoney.com, and hopefully everybody goes there today. Thank you both. This was really interesting.
Thank you,
so
Jess.
much.
Thanks, Jess.
We'll be back next week with another edition of Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rayam on WHMP.